Secretary Designee of the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
People that first off have no idea what's happening, so can you just tell them what's going on?
Well, we're here to announce a $3 million grant from the state to help with this Tribune project down here in Wisconsin Rapids.
And what is the Tribune project?
Well, it's a great economic development project here that's going to renovate this 25,000 feet of space here that used to be the Tribune building into an incubator, a microgroup for training, bringing a lot of resources together to attract and retain talent in this area.
And how important is that to be able to attract new talent into the area to help build the city? And how does that tie into the transportation aspect?
Well, I think it's exceedingly important. After Consolidated Paper left, there was some harder times here, and Encourage here in Wisconsin Rapids has really been at the leader of this project, and it's going to be a great resource to bring new talent here. And transportation feeds into that as well, too. There was more money in the transportation project, but we know employers that are wanting to move things are choosing to locate where there's good transportation.
Speaking of good transportation, obviously the state budget got more money for transportation. You're looking at a pot of money that's going to be split up between multiple municipalities, counties, cities, villages. How important is that then in workforce development?
Well, that's very important too. I think the most important was the ongoing money that went into the State Highway Rehabilitation Program and to the locals for their general transportation aids. But also important is this grant program of one-time money where there can be specific projects that they can apply for that can demonstrate economic development.
And would something like 8th Street here in Wisconsin Rapids be right in that wheelhouse?
I think 8th Street here would be a very good candidate.
Yeah. Talk about obviously there's a lot on the Republican side that are coming out right now with this the streetcar project in Milwaukee that got a certain pot of funding. Why was that important in the budget?
Well, it didn't get a certain pot of funding. All we said was that transit projects from some cities could compete for some of these as well.
Sure.
The city of Milwaukee said they don't have any intention of trying to get any money out of this project for the streetcars. So that's just been a lot of misinformation.
That's been a lot of misinformation and noise on the GOP side?
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's talk about then, what a project like that. So if Milwaukee did want that money, how would they go about getting it?
So we're going to be setting up review panels for each pot of money. So the counties will have their own made up of county officials. The cities and villages will have one made up of city and village officials, and the towns will have one of towns officials. And we're going to have certain criteria that we're going to judge each of the applicants against, and their peers will make the decisions based upon that criteria.
So give me an example then of a project that would benefit from that.
Well, like you said, 8th Street here would be a very good one. There's a lot of bridge projects. There's a lot of local road projects. I think where people could demonstrate the economic development capabilities and to compete for some of that money.
So then what's the timeline for seeing this play out then?
So within the next 6 to 8 weeks, we believe we'll be able to get all the criteria together and get the program set up, because it's a brand new program to set up, and then we'll be able to have those committees and start reviewing the applications. And so I'd say, beginning early next year, a lot of these projects will be able to start being rolled out.
And then how much money is in that pot again?
$75 million.
All right.
And then as far as road efforts here, do you know when that will start and what's going to be tackled first?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
As far as I saw the highways and some of the local roads right here in the city.
Yeah, I think the Public Works Director will probably be able to tell you the order in which that they're going to be taking those.
Sounds good. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Perfect.
Just at a top.
Appreciate you. People that have no idea what's going on, can you just kind of explain what's happening today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to be here at the along the river banks here in Wisconsin Rapids to celebrate the funding in the state budget for the Encourage Tribune project. It's been a long time in the works for the legislature, so we're happy to be here to celebrate today. To have the community be such a big part of this is one of the reasons it's the only non-state project that was funded in the state budget, and that's a direct credit to the residents of Wisconsin Rapids.
And why is this so important for people that aren't here and may not really understand what's happening?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Wisconsin Rapids, this is kind of the regeneration of what had fallen apart in the 80s and 90s from the paper companies leaving town and decreasing their production. It's time for us to put some money back into our city to make sure that people recognize we're not a dying town like some would say. It's an exciting centerpiece for all the activity going on behind us, the rest of the downtown area. And it's something that just had to get done. So it's a lot of dedicated work to get this done, and we're thankful that it got signed off in the state budget.
So then what exactly is going to go on in this building then when this project's up and running?
Yeah, the exciting part is it's a community hub. So it's got a little bit of everything. We're going to have some brew pub, we're going to have some culinary training, we're going to have a connection with UWSP. It's a chance for the community to come make this building what they want it to be. It's a chance for us in the legislature to help communities recognize that if they advocate hard enough for something, we can be there to help them with it.
It's not only the efforts with this building, but the transportation was a big aspect of this as well. Can you kind of touch that
I'm super excited that we got where we got with the Tribune building, but I'm a little disappointed in the transportation budget. The changing of the LRIP program to allow the Milwaukee streetcar to compete with city, financing of A Street or other projects. That's a challenge that I think the legislature has to go back and address again. Overall, I think we're doing good on transportation funding. I just don't like to have my city, like Wisconsin Rapids or Watoma or Nakusa, compete against non-road projects in the transportation budget.
Talk about transportation funding in this area. Then, I mean, is there any project that's going to be coming online here that you can look at this and say, hey,
yes,
this is that extra money going to work right here?
Yeah, the legislature originally dedicated $90 million in that program, and we fought for that because we know that A Street, the main corridor in Wisconsin Rapids, is 20 years past its usable lifespan. That's a project that would have been applied for with those dollars. That's going to be siphoned off into projects like Milwaukee streetcar and other non-transportation issues. So it's amazing to me that a project like that is going to have to possibly be on hold.
Anything else that you'd like to add about what happened here then before we let you go?
No, I think the most exciting part is, like one of the speakers said, we actually got the state budget done on time and delivered and signed so people can plan for the fall and the summer. We're going to be going back into the legislature in October to talk about some possible overrides of some things that just weren't right. But overall, I think we did a great job working together to get that budget done.
All right,
Cool. Yeah, thanks for taking time to do that.
That's cool, man. I figured might as well give you guys something if you're going to